Have you noticed certain energies around you intensifying, almost as if something or someone wants to keep you from rising? You're not imagining it. Over the past few months, a shift in surrounding energies has become unmistakable, a tense, insistent push that seems determined to hold people in place, tethering them to familiar old patterns. This force isn't just circumstantial. It appears to be driven by something that actively resists change, something that doesn't want you to break free. These energies manifest uniquely for each individual, finding ways to connect with specific vulnerabilities and unresolved wounds, with the clear goal of keeping you from ascending. This anchoring mechanism works subtly, like a hidden force creating cycles of doubt, unease, or self-questioning. You may notice it in old habits resurfacing, or situations that seem to pull you back into behavior patterns you thought were in the past. These aren't random incidents, but rather intentional attempts to limit progress and keep you within the bounds of an outdated self, carefully crafted to feel familiar and perhaps even safe. The collective rise in awareness and consciousness is triggering a sort of counterforce, a spiritual battle where forces of control and suppression seek to halt the momentum of growth. This isn't just about you personally, it's part of a larger struggle to contain human consciousness within old parameters. These energies, in their refusal to adapt, cling to mechanisms that have worked for centuries: fear, doubt, and the reinforcement of negative patterns. For many, this battle manifests through personal interactions, familiar figures or recurring situations that re-emerge just when progress seems within reach. It's as if these energies wear different faces, sometimes appearing as friends, family, or even societal structures that seem determined to keep you in place. These encounters serve as subtle reminders, a pullback to the comfort of the familiar, even if that familiarity is stifling. What's insidious about this comfort is its illusion of safety. It creates a nostalgic pull that feels reassuring at first, but ultimately seeks to entrap. The familiar can easily appear as a refuge from the unknown, but over time, it becomes clear that this is a cage, a controlled environment, designed to restrict you from exploring the vast possibilities of growth and self-actualization. The internal conflict caused by these energies can feel relentless, a quiet, constant resistance that rises just as you're on the cusp of transformation. Rather than interpreting this as a failure, understand it as evidence of the larger shift you're undergoing. The closer you come to reaching a breakthrough, the more persistent these forces become, attempting to create doubt and discourage you from moving forward. They are drawn to the light of your growth, but they aim to extinguish it rather than nurture it. Each challenge is strategically designed to exploit areas where you may feel less confident. When you're on the verge of achieving something meaningful, these energies attack, amplifying insecurities or making the path seem almost impossible. Recognizing this dynamic is essential to maintaining perspective. By acknowledging that resistance is an expected part of the journey, you can navigate these setbacks with greater clarity and resilience. In these moments, each pullback becomes an opportunity to strengthen your commitment to your path. This process, often painful, is part of the initiation, a means to test your resolve and readiness to transcend these controlling influences. Your growing awareness is an asset, a defense that keeps you from being dragged back into familiar cycles, making it easier to stay grounded as you rise above. This initiation is ultimately about reclaiming control over your path and purpose. It's about sharpening your awareness of these energies, gaining insight into their nature, and learning to see them for what they truly are, a final attempt to hold you back. Every encounter brings new understanding, an opportunity to reclaim your own truth. Rather than being defined by these limiting forces, you learn to redefine yourself on your own terms. As you journey through this process, you may start to recognize two specific types of energies working against your growth. The first, Energy 1, carries a narcissistic and manipulative drive that thrives on imposing a distorted reality. This energy refuses to acknowledge your truth, creating an alternate version that subtly chips away at your confidence. Its presence often manifests as people or thoughts that cast doubt, encouraging you to second-guess what you know to be real. This energy seeks to destabilize by planting seeds of doubt, making you question your experiences and your self-worth. Energy 1 does not operate in isolation. It comes through people who appear dismissive, or even situations that seem engineered to make you question yourself. It's an energy that thrives on power dynamics, using manipulation as a tool to create a web of confusion and dependency. Though difficult to detect initially, its patterns reveal themselves over time. This energy doesn't want you to grow because your empowerment threatens its control. Energy 2, on the other hand, is less overtly harmful, but just as restrictive. It comes from a place of wounded insecurity, often hiding behind a kind or protective facade. This energy might present as gentle or even supportive, but it subtly discourages you from stepping out of your comfort zone. It acts out of self-protection, seeking validation while avoiding any confrontation with its own unresolved issues. This energy is like a shield, aiming to keep you small under the guise of protection. The methods Energy 2 employs are subtle, designed to make you feel a sense of obligation or even guilt. This energy thrives on the idea that harmony should not be disrupted, presenting change as a threat rather than an opportunity. By subtly steering you away from progress, it keeps you limited, contained within a comfort zone that is ultimately stifling. It's an energy that manipulates through passive control, quietly nudging you back toward a controlled, predictable reality. Together, these energies create a formidable force, each contributing to a carefully constructed illusion of comfort and safety. Their shared objective is to prevent you from recognizing your full potential, keeping you confined in a space that suits their needs. Recognizing their influence is the first step toward breaking free from the restrictions they impose. But seeing through these facades requires careful attention and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. These energies perpetuate lies that undermine your confidence, quietly reinforcing the belief that you're not ready, not worthy, or that growth is somehow dangerous. These falsehoods are crafted to align with familiar fears, making them easy to believe. However, the more you confront them, the more transparent these lies become. They reveal themselves as echoes of old doubts, remnants of fears you've long outgrown, but that still linger in moments of vulnerability. Once you start to recognize the influence of these energies, a pattern emerges. Both rely on repetition, hoping that with enough persistence, their limitations will become your reality. But each time you confront these limitations, their influence weakens. Awareness disrupts the cycle, exposing the lies and restoring clarity to your perception. It's in this clarity that you begin to see beyond their reach. Understanding these energies and their motivations can be transformative. As you discern their role in shaping your thoughts and decisions, you begin to separate their influence from your true intentions. You see where you've allowed these forces to define you, where you've accepted their limitations as your own. This awareness marks the beginning of liberation, the moment you start to reclaim the power you may have unknowingly surrendered. Alert! You're about to uncover knowledge that mainstream platforms can't handle. The Obsidian Inner Order is where the most fearless chosen ones gather, those ready to dismantle illusions and claim their true power. Inside, you gain access to over 400 members sharing transformative insights, plus exclusive videos far too raw for YouTube. The latest? The universe is your ATM machine, a powerful dive into breaking free from every money and abundance blockade the Matrix uses to keep you stuck, revealing why the Matrix wants you broke and how to reclaim what's rightfully yours. Join now for tools like the Modern Manifestation Mechanics Grimoire and unparalleled support in our chosen singles community for genuine connections with others on the same path. But act fast. The Star Chamber slots are filling up. This is the only place on Earth where chosen ones come together to rise. Link to the Obsidian Inner Order is in the description. Claim your place, elevate your game, and turn the Matrix's rules on their head. Breaking free from these energies requires a conscious and steady process of detachment. Detachment here does not mean disinterest. It's an intentional choice to rise above the entanglements and influences that aim to pull you back. By choosing to detach, you send a clear message to these energies that they no longer control your thoughts, your emotions, or your sense of worth. It's not just a refusal to engage, but a powerful act of self-preservation and self-empowerment. When you detach, you disrupt the cycle that these energies rely on to thrive. Their influence is strongest when they are intertwined with your emotions and choices. By releasing your hold on their validation or disapproval, you weaken their control. They no longer find the same power in your reactions because you are no longer participating in the dynamic they've created. It's in this space of detachment that true transformation becomes possible. As you detach, you become a mirror that reflects these energies back upon themselves. When they attempt to assert control or evoke a response, they are instead confronted with their own stagnation. They see their lack of progress in the face of your refusal to stay contained, and this reflection can be unsettling for them. They are forced to confront their limitations, to see the gap between who they are and who they could be if they chose growth. In your detachment, they find a reminder of what they resist within themselves. This act of mirroring can be powerful, not only for you but for the energies involved. While you rise and free yourself, they are left with a reflection of their own fears, doubts, and stagnation. The strength of your growth contrasts with their comfort in familiarity, revealing the restrictive nature of their control. In your progress, you unintentionally show them the pathway to liberation, though it's up to them to walk it. Detaching does not mean abandoning empathy or compassion. It means choosing yourself and your growth over their comfort. You understand that their resistance is their own battle to face, one that you are no longer obligated to participate in. Detachment is not about distancing yourself emotionally from others, but about protecting your path from their need to keep you small. It's a choice to value your journey over their comfort with the status quo. Through detachment, you stop serving as a canvas for their unresolved issues. You choose to be a blank slate, free from their projections, reflecting only the truth of your progress and potential. They can no longer use you as a buffer against their discomfort or their desire to remain stagnant. This act of reclamation allows you to move forward unhindered, with a clarity and freedom that was previously obscured. As you rise, the effects of your detachment ripple outwards. The energies that once thrived on controlling you find themselves destabilized. Your resilience disrupts their ability to operate as they once did, forcing them to confront the limitations of their own influence. What once controlled you now finds itself weakened, no longer able to anchor you in a space that limits your potential. As you rise above these controlling energies, three distinct dynamics emerge, each influencing your growth and the reactions of others around you. The first of these dynamics is a profound shift in character. By embracing resilience, you begin to embody a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. This shift doesn't just happen internally, it becomes visible in your interactions and choices, signaling a newfound dedication to growth that challenges those who are resistant to change. This shift in character is deeply transformative. You've moved beyond the person who once sought validation from external sources. Now you're driven by an inner clarity and purpose that doesn't bend to outside opinions or influence. Those around you may sense this shift, recognizing the strength that comes from choosing authenticity over conformity. This change can be unsettling for some, particularly for energies that rely on your old patterns of behavior. The second dynamic is an energetic pull that naturally accompanies this newfound clarity and strength. As you focus on your higher purpose, you begin to attract the attention of those who are drawn to your resilience, whether for inspiration or out of envy. Your detachment creates a magnetic quality, one that others find difficult to ignore. This pull can be both a gift and a challenge, as it often draws people who are either seeking growth or seeking control. Your energy becomes a point of attraction, drawing those who see in you what they wish to develop within themselves. However, this pull also attracts energies that may resist your growth, those who feel challenged or even threatened by your shift in focus. As you grow, you may find that some people seek to reconnect, to re-establish old dynamics, hoping to regain a sense of control. This attention is not a reflection of you, but of their own inner conflicts, stirred by the light of your progress. The third dynamic involves external grief stages, experienced by those around you as they witness your growth. While you have already walked through these stages yourself, Others are now confronted with their own unaddressed areas of stagnation. Seeing you rise reminds them of the parts of themselves that they have neglected or denied, stirring feelings of loss or discomfort. This is a natural part of the process, one that you may recognize as a stage of transformation. As others go through these grief stages, they may project their discomfort onto you, attempting to pull you back into a version of yourself that feels more familiar and less challenging to them. This reaction is not out of malice, but out of an inability to process their own emotions in the face of your change. Your progress highlights what they have yet to confront, creating a sense of grief for the version of themselves that they've avoided facing. Navigating these three dynamics requires a steadfast commitment to your path. With each shift in character, each energetic pull, and each projection of grief, you reaffirm your dedication to growth. This process is as much about self-discovery as it is about resilience, learning to move forward without being swayed by the reactions of others. Each dynamic serves as a reminder of the journey you've undertaken and the power of the transformation you're experiencing. As you embody these dynamics, you create a space for others to process their own shifts. While it's not your role to guide them, your example serves as a testament to the possibilities of change. In witnessing your growth, they are given the opportunity to face their own discomfort and move through it. Whether or not they choose to take that path is their choice, but your transformation serves as a subtle invitation to do so. These dynamics remind you of the interconnected nature of personal growth. Each step you take toward authenticity reverberates outward, influencing those around you in ways both visible and unseen. In navigating these dynamics, you gain insight into the true nature of transformation, not only as a personal journey but as a catalyst that can inspire shifts in others, leaving a trail of possibility in your wake. With each step you take toward growth, unpredictability becomes a natural part of your journey. This unpredictability arises from breaking free of old patterns, challenging the comfort that others may have found in your previous ways of being. When you no longer respond to situations in familiar ways, you disrupt others' sense of control. This unpredictability, rather than being chaotic, signals that you are no longer bound by past limitations, that your path is now directed by an inner truth rather than external expectations. Alongside this unpredictability, you may notice the emergence of enhanced psychic abilities or heightened intuition. These gifts are not new. They are an awakening of senses that were previously subdued by limiting beliefs or old patterns. As you shed these constraints, you become more attuned to the energies around you, able to perceive insights and connections that were previously beyond reach. This expansion is a natural outcome of rising beyond past frequencies, opening new dimensions of awareness. The unpredictability you embody has an effect on others, challenging their need for control. Those who once felt comfortable in their understanding of you now find themselves uncertain. This discomfort is not about you, but about their inability to predict or control the energy you now carry. Your growth forces them to confront their own limitations, their own need for stability, in a world that is constantly shifting. With these new abilities, you may find that you can tune into others' states of consciousness, sensing their emotions or intentions with greater clarity. This awareness is not about reading minds, but about tuning into the energy behind actions and words. You become more discerning, able to see beyond the surface and perceive the truth of a situation. This expanded awareness serves as a guide, helping you navigate interactions with clarity and insight. This gift of heightened intuition also serves as a protection. By sensing the intentions behind others' actions, you can make choices that protect your energy and keep you aligned with your path. You're less likely to be swayed by manipulative tactics or hidden agendas because you see through the facades. This ability is not about control, but about discernment, allowing you to navigate interactions with a wisdom rooted in truth. The unpredictability of your growth makes you an enigma to those who prefer fixed identities. You no longer fit neatly into the categories they've constructed, and this freedom can be both liberating and challenging. Embracing this role as an enigma allows you to exist outside the constraints of labels, free to explore new facets of your identity and purpose. You become a reminder that true growth is dynamic, ever-changing, and that life itself resists rigid definition. As you continue to evolve, you may find yourself embodying what can be described as the Joker or Enigma archetype, a role that exists beyond traditional labels, one that dances between light and dark energies without aligning solely with either. This archetype is powerful because it represents liberation from rigid identity. It embodies the freedom to exist as a blend of complexities, a reminder that growth is not linear or predictable. In embracing this role, you are free to explore all facets of your spiritual and personal evolution. The Joker archetype balances both light and shadow with grace, refusing to be confined to one extreme or the other. It's an energy that allows you to express authenticity without the constraints of expectation. You are no longer bound to a singular role. You become a dynamic presence, a living example of the balance between polarities. This archetype gives you the freedom to explore new dimensions of yourself, to embody a power that is neither confined by light nor limited by darkness. By stepping into this archetype, you release yourself from the pressure to fit into predefined roles. You no longer feel the need to justify or explain your choices. The Enigma archetype thrives on mystery, on the ability to exist without complete understanding. This ambiguity becomes your strength, allowing you to move freely between worlds, to embrace the unknown, and to wield both wisdom and curiosity in your journey. This liberation from labels allows you to create opportunities that defy conventional limitations. You no longer seek approval or validation because your identity is rooted in authenticity, not in the perceptions of others. You become a source of intrigue, someone who exists beyond the confines of expectations. This freedom allows you to manifest new potentials, to explore paths that are inaccessible to those who are bound by rigid self-concepts. Embodying the Enigma is also a form of protection. By existing in ambiguity, you become difficult to categorize, hard to predict. This unpredictability shields you from the projections of others, keeping you free from the weight of their expectations. The Enigma archetype doesn't conform. It disrupts patterns, challenges assumptions, and exists beyond the need for external definition. This makes you resilient, a force that cannot be easily influenced or controlled. The Enigma archetype allows you to engage with the world on your own terms, without feeling the need to explain or justify your journey. It is a role that celebrates curiosity, encouraging you to explore new ideas, new aspects of yourself, without fear of judgment. You are no longer confined to a single path. Each choice, each action becomes an opportunity to express your essence in new and unpredictable ways. This role empowers you to navigate between worlds, to explore the full spectrum of existence. You're both student and teacher, both seeker and guide. The freedom to embody this blend allows you to tap into a level of understanding that is beyond duality. You see the interconnectedness of all things, the balance between light and dark, and in this understanding, you find the strength to rise. As the Enigma, you become a creator in your own right, someone who shapes reality with each decision. You have freed yourself from limitation, choosing to define your journey by your own values and desires. This path is not about perfection or conformity. It's about embracing the full scope of your being, allowing your journey to unfold naturally, without constraints. In embodying the Joker or Enigma archetype, you step into a new era of self-discovery, one where every experience is an invitation to explore, to learn, and to evolve. This is where true freedom lies, not in fitting into societal molds, but in the courage to exist as a fluid, dynamic presence. In this space, you are both everything and nothing, a limitless being who defies definition, embodying the mystery and potential of existence itself. You now stand with a greater understanding of the strength required to rise above the energies that have attempted to confine you. Each experience, each encounter with these forces, has been part of a process that has tested your resolve, strengthened your awareness, and refined your path forward. You've learned that true empowerment doesn't come from avoiding these energies, but from embracing your ability to recognize and transcend them. The power you hold lies in your clarity, your resilience, and your choice to rise, undeterred by external attempts to suppress your potential. This is your invitation to move forward with purpose, safeguarding your energy and nurturing your growth. Let your path remain clear and aligned with your truth. Resist the pull of limiting influences and embrace the dynamic, evolving nature of your journey. As you continue to break free from these restrictive forces, you'll find yourself exploring parts of your potential that were once hidden, discovering layers of strength, wisdom, and possibility that only reveal themselves when you step fully into your truth.